Hi, I'm Kiki, more widely known as What Do You Mean Kiki on my socials, mainly my TikTok. I'm gonna be rambling about my battle band OCs. Yay! If that's something you guys are interested in. This is mainly like a speed paint thing and just me geeking out over these guys because I'm super fixated on these OCs specifically right now. Yay! So, if you're interested in the OC stuff, stay with me. Just keep in mind that this is my first YouTube video and I talk a lot. So the most important part about these OCs is that they are in the metal band. That's like their main gimmick. It's a metal band called Scythe, consisting of 4 members: Josie Porter, Minji Lee, Cage Mong, and Dalton Hayes. So starting off with the founder and basically glue of the band is Minji. She is Korean, she's 24 years old. She is the main singer and rhythm guitarist of Scythe. You'll see I have like a little stripe thing going on with their outfits. I don't know where that came from, but low-key I just stuck with it. And it's probably gonna stay that way. So I do have a timeline somewhere, but I'm not gonna like bring it up for this video just because I'm not going 100% in depth into their characters and their lore or whatever. But Minji was the one to introduce everybody to each other. Like I said before, the literal glue of the band. Minji would be described as really hardworking. She's very, very determined. She's very stubborn, very hard-headed. She will not let her opinions be swayed by somebody else just cause. Minji is and always has been like super independent, so she makes sure to take care of majority of the band's affairs. While they do have a manager, she does basically oversee everything. Not in like a she has to be in control all the time way, but like I can take care of this, like you guys don't worry about that kind of way, you know? Also, quick side note, the designs in this like current speed paint are their original designs, which I have tweaked a little bit. I've basically kept the same idea, like the little skull motif, the stripes, the spikes, but I did alter it a little bit, which that will be shown later on in the video. Just please keep that in mind as you're watching these slightly horrid earlier stages. Okay, more on Minji. She isn't really, I wouldn't categorize her as the type of like relationship person. Not to say that she doesn't have any romantic interest in people. I would say she's just somewhere on the asexual spectrum, maybe. Also keep in mind that she doesn't really have time for relationships. Like, she views that as a distraction, so that's also a factor of that. So next is Cage. He is mixed. He's black and Chinese. He is the lead guitarist and occasionally does vocals. As you can see my speed paint, I literally just copy and pasted the concept of the concept because I genuinely cannot get his freaking face down right. He loves, like, dude loves his guitar. That's probably like his most prized possession ever. I still haven't come up with a design for it, but I'm thinking something with the scythe. I don't know. He does have a tramp stamp. I think that says enough about him. Cage is, I would say, he's like a pretty laid-back guy. He's pretty chill. He did know Minji first. He loves to tease people. Basically just pretty boy stereotype, if anything. I am begging you to close your eyes right now and not look at the fuck-ass jorts I decided to give him at first. They are hideous, and I don't know why I thought they looked good. So under that cocky demeanor, he is actually very, I would say, self-conscious to a degree, because he is very sociable and like very easy to talk to. But growing up, I feel like he was like one of those people that people knew but didn't like actually get the time to know, you know, like know and understand. So he's never been good with relationships either. Whole band full of people have never fucking dated at this point, sort of odd. Like he's been in relationships, but I feel like he's just not good with them, and he's not good with commitment because he just has this constant thought, like, do they really want to know me, or are they just trying to, like, you know, implications. So like one of the people that really did understand him was Minji, and then later on Josie and Dalton. He sees them as family basically, except for one of them. Subtle foreshadowing. Anyways, he's like biggest mistake maker ever. If you can see, like right there on his necklace, he has a little septum. That is Dalton's septum. Not used. I would say it's more like maybe like a backup that he just never used. Cage stole, turned it into a necklace just cause. Cage, I feel like does have like a tendency of sleeping around. Like I said before, he does not good with commitment. He's not a relationship guy. He doesn't understand like commitment. He doesn't feel like that's something he would want to be tied down to. Like I feel like he's like a total nympho, if anything. Like more hypersexual than he is wanting for a relationship, if that makes sense. And I did forget to mention this earlier, he is 26 years old. So heads up, I did skip a good amount of the speed paint because the process of this guy specifically was so fucking frustrating. I will say this, I definitely didn't do him justice in the concept because he was always supposed to be like a bigger, like burlier dude, but I couldn't execute that very well. I think I got a little bit better at it, but just keep in mind, he's supposed to be kind of fat and like have buff arms. So Dalton is 28. He is the oldest out of the 4 band members. He is British. He's from Birmingham, England. Dalton does have pretty bad anger issues. His dad was a drunk, so there's that. His worst fear is failure. However, he does use like the drums as like a way to channel those issues that he has, I guess. He has definitely gone through a good amount of drum sets thanks to his little issues. He's not soft-spoken at all. I feel like he's just a very like gruff guy, but despite that, he can be pretty nice to be around, I would say. He's definitely very respectful despite everything, except for like maybe like crude jokes here and there. He's very I would say like protective of his bandmates and the people in his life, because similarly to Cage but a little bit more strongly, he does view Scythe as a family because his kind of sucked. He's definitely emotionally constipated. I feel like even though his dad was a drinker and he really resents him for that, he does a fair share of drinking himself, more as like just like a pastime, not necessarily a coping mechanism. I feel like his tolerance for it is very high. He's like the complete opposite of a lightweight. His hair is supposed to be silver, though he is a natural strawberry blonde. Josie is the bassist for Scythe, and she is the youngest out of the 4. She is mixed, and she's also Canadian. I'm very unhappy with her original design. She's like the main reason why I wanted to redesign everything. Don't get me wrong, I love her deeply, but I cannot fathom looking at that clothing any longer. Josie is very, I wouldn't say shy, she's very awkward if anything. She is the one who designs the band's albums herself. She's a really mean resting bitch face, but she's actually very sweet, I would think. I feel like she would come off as like standoffish just because she has a more monotoned voice. So she's not meaning to be rude or disrespectful, it's just the way that she talks and the way that she sounds. Her favorite part about being in Scythe, I feel like, would be the photo shoots and stuff like that. I feel like that would make her very excited. Because she's a more artistic one, she would definitely help the band with makeup and stuff, like face paint, because I feel like they would do corpse paint a lot. She's definitely the type of person to be out in public, and if somebody were to be like, oh, you're the girl from Scythe, or you're the girl from that band, she would be surprised too, because I feel like she would forget. Because like in her mind, it's just she's having fun, she's playing with her friends, she's doing what she loves, and I feel like it would totally slip her mind that she is kind of pretty well known. Although she's like very quiet most of the time, she is definitely the person to immediately info dump on you the second she gets comfortable with you. The band actually shares a home together, and they have a cat because of her. She found this little cat like outside one day, and she took it in and didn't really elaborate much. Josie is definitely the type of person to not be able to control her facial expressions. Like if she hears or sees something that she does not like, she will grimace, she will like wince at it. Oftentimes she has to be told that she's doing it for her to notice, because it's just like a subconscious thing. She doesn't really keep track of her face and her facial expressions very well. So now on the topic of like relationships and how these people interact with each other, how they view each other. First of all, Minji is closest with Cage, but sees Josie and Dalton as also very, very close friends. She doesn't feel any romantic feelings towards anybody. Like I said before, she's not into relationships very much. At after parties and events of the sort, she does find herself gravitating more towards Josie, because Dalton tends to spend majority of his time there, like probably drinking, maybe talking to some friends. Cage is doing God knows what, probably off with another person. Josie is I feel feel like at first, especially, she was very intimidated by Dalton, and it took her so long to warm up to him. Dalton always viewed Josie as like cool, like he already viewed them as friends. He assumed they were good friends, but Josie did take like a good while to warm up to him, as he is 6'3". He's a big son of a bitch. He has a very gravelly voice, and he just has the meanest looking fucking face ever. So she was, quite frankly, terrified of him for a good amount of time. She definitely took a shorter amount of time to get used to Cage and get comfortable around him, because they are both huge music nerds. Josie has a strong admiration for Minji. I would say it's like a borderline almost love interest. However, she would never act on it because she knows Minji. She knows that Minji isn't necessarily a relationship person, and also she's way too much of a coward to tell her anything. So she kind of just keeps it to herself. As was established earlier, Cage is really close with Minji, and he has a pretty good friendship with Josie. They talk about music a lot. Cage's relationship with Dalton is a little bit complicated. They are, like I said before, Cage isn't a commitment guy, but he is hooking up with Dalton. Like it's more of like an occasional thing, like here and there. Clearly, obviously, it's nothing serious. At least to Cage, it's not. Cage tends to tease Dalton a lot because Dalton is extremely easy to rile up. Easiest motherfucker to rage bait, probably. Dalton views his bandmates, like I said before, as family. It's the closest thing he's had to family. He always ends up being the one to carry out his bandmates if they're, like, drunk off their asses. He's always on Minji's ass about resting and about taking a break every now and then. He also helps her compose lyrics every now and then. Dalton's bond with Josie more consists of being up late at night and accidentally meeting each other in the kitchen, or lounging on the couch and watching TV, but it's more silent and it's not really conversation ridden, but it's not like they really need conversation. They enjoy each other's company, although, like I said before, it did take Josie a little bit longer to warm up to him. As mentioned previously, he is kind of sleeping around with Cage every now and then. Dalton doesn't see it as a serious thing because it's not supposed to be a serious thing, and that's kind of what they agreed on, like basically no strings. But Dalton did catch some feelings, I'd say. I wouldn't say like, oh, he's in love, but he does feel a certain type of way about his bandmate, even though he wouldn't ever really say it out loud. So that's about it as far as briefly explaining these guys. I love them a lot. I'm very hyper fixated on them right now. If seeing more in-depth stuff about them is something that you guys would like to see, please let me know. I do have a few side characters for this universe, so if that's also something you guys would want to see, let me know. I will post something. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me ramble for a solid 12 minutes straight. I really appreciate you, and thank you. Bye. Love you.